Heyo, every boy and grills. So it's been a hot minute since I gushed all over a game that made y'all puke all over the exit button. And it's been a hot minute since my last upload. This sort of thing happens when I get all worked up about a game that I get heavily invested in, to the point where it'll take up my entire work schedule. That game I'm talking in particular is Hades. I'm seriously late to the party, but man, this game is my new form of crack. The version I've been playing was a Nintendo Switch version, and since this game supports cross-saving with Steam and Epic Game Store versions as well, then I guess the only difference between these ports is either you want to play this on the computer, or while you're pooping. I've never played a Supergiant game before. Not saying that they're a bad company, but I have a bad habit of seeing a cool game I want to play and then walk away for good. But Hades was a game changer for me. A roguelike hack and slash with intense difficulty set in Greek mythology as you play as a pretty sassy boy who can step on me anytime and I thank him for it. A freaking man. I'm a huge fan of roguelike dungeon crawlers that can expect a lot out of me, but also offer a lot in return if you choose to keep on going. Hades is one of those difficult games where death is an actual mechanic of the game. It actually moves the story along and it gives you a chance to become stronger for the next time you try to escape. Once you are revived into the house, almost everyone in the House of Hades will have something new to say to you, new side quests to complete, or just to remind you that lava hurts and you suck because you died from it. There's just so much meat jam-packed into a game like this, like holy crap y'all, can I please be done? I got stuff to do, jeez! So I thought, even though this has been out for a good year or two, and the game's getting a re-release on PSN and Xbox in a few months, so I thought, okay, why not? Let's try something fun here. Whether you're someone who's still struggling with Hades, or you're just waiting for the new console versions to come out in August, or you just want to listen to my obnoxious screaming and simping over everyone. Either way, welcome to my list of how to suck a little less at Hades. Grab as many Athena boons as you can on a run for one ability and one ability alone. Deflect. This not only stops projectiles from giving your gams a smooch, but it also fires them right back at your opponent. Whether you can use your cast to deflect, your special move, your dash, or even better, your regular attack move, not only you'll be golden, but you can also do stuff like this. So I don't know, Deflect is pretty cool. Use it. If you find any pomegranates, level up any attack or damage up abilities you have as much as you can. You'll need that extra muscle later down the line. Defense is nice too, but you'll want to end fights as quickly as possible, and staying in an encounter for too long can cause your lumpy butt to get hit somehow. Also, while I'm here, take any boon that upgrades your damage no matter what. Go for a strength build and make sure you hurt and you hurt good. Always go for the doors with a hammer on them. It gives your weapon a much needed buff and it'll make winning a little easier. Whether that being something like changing how your attack or special brings out the pain. Do you want your spear to go in 3 separate directions, or do you want to fire a gazillion nukes straight out of Kingdom Come? Think about which ability for each weapon sounds the most dandy to you and let those heathens have it. Speaking of weapons, you'll have 6 to choose from, each offering a new style of offense. But here's the hard pill to swallow. No matter what anyone says, the crossbow isn't the best weapon in the game. The spear is. Anytime you pick up boons or weapon abilities throughout your run, always think ahead on what build you're going for and how these abilities and status effects will help you out in the long run. What I mean by that is, how is any of this gonna help me kill this guy? Daddy Dearest Hades will be waiting for you at the end of your every run to give you one last endurance test to use everything at your disposal against him. So always have yourself loaded with abilities affecting your attacks, specials, dashes, etc. Whatever makes you come out alive. Always think about the last fight to the death when picking up boons, hammers, or even going through separate doors with different awards. But also just be cautious and aware because you'll probably be dying here anyway. Well, that was an hour well spent. Ares is also top tier boon hottie for his Doom status effect. That extra damage cast is no joke, super delicious to see, and if you could get that Doom ability on your regular attack, you'll have yourself an almost one run. What also makes him special is his blade rifts. Like if you find one for your dash, it'll cast a blade rift right where you just were, or if you get one for your cast, it can send a circle of death to smite your enemies. You can never go wrong with any Ares boons, so if you see his insignia anywhere, go for it. Stick by him. Love and cherish him. For me. Or else. Not saying there are really bad boons or bad Olympian abilities, but I'm just saying there are some that are better than others. I recommend sticking with Poseidon if you want some knockback to your attacks, Aphrodite if you want your foes to be weaker or slower, and more recommended if you want to play it safe. Hermes with his speed abilities, whether that making your attacks faster or you go supersonic racing. I keep forgetting this dude's name, but his hangover ability does take damage after a few seconds, and oh boy, ooh man, it's getting a little hot in here. Zeus has a pretty good selection of boons if you want to play on the offensive side. Artemis, I'm pretty sure I'm pronouncing that wrong, helps deal critical damage. Athena again for her deflect abilities, as well as Ares for doom and blade rifts. And Demeter, I saw little to no change with your chill ability, so it stinks and so does your wrinkly prune for her face. But her cast laser is pretty cool, so that's a plus. So in my humble opinion, Athena, Ares, Aphrodite, and Zeus are the peeps you want to keep an eye out for in each run. Most definitely, Athena and Ares. Try to mix your weapon styles and abilities with boons to your liking. If you take the time to think real carefully about which weapon ability can mix with certain boons, then congrats. You'll be firing charm calls at bosses non-stop while making you dish out more damage every time you use it in a span of 5 seconds. You'll be able to throw your shield that fires lightning bolts to everyone around it, and you'll fire seeking arrows each time you attack. The amount of possible builds are endless, and boons will make or break your run, so figure out what can go with what more beautifully and just let loose. Any call that makes you invulnerable is a must by the time you get to the final boss. Ares, Athena, and Poseidon's got you covered. Don't use your call rapidly either unless you're on a regular encounter. Wait until the bar fills completely for a greater call, for that will give you a lot more time to bust some heads. Watch where you dash, stay away from magma and traps, and don't die from stupid. Give nectar to some of your favorite peeps to show them that everything is gonna be alright down here in hell. At least give one to everyone you meet to get a trinket. These trinkets will give a unique boost for your run, and everyone's trinkets are vastly different from one another. So be generous today, you may never know what you're gonna get. Just like with the boons, there are trinkets out there that are better than others, so here's a few recommendations I recommend checking out, if you care. I suggest giving Cerberus's collar a shot if you're just now starting out for a major boost in health. Staying alive more means you'll learn more. The bracelet from Achilles is also a nice one. You take less damage from the front, but a tad more from the back. Just don't put this on when you're using the shield weapon because you'll probably be blocking everything in front of you anyway. If you feel like playing a bit safe, the feather duster you get from Dusa is also great. With it, you have a small chance of finding some health items in the pots around the chambers. With that being said, now you have an excuse to break everything. The Lucky Tooth from Skelly is also a great item because when you die, it refills a good chunk of health so you can keep on wailing on some heathens. It's also a must if you haven't unlocked the Death Defiance ability yet, or if you're already maxed out your Death Defiance and you can cheat death like 4 times if you feel like playing risky and dirty. Now, a whole bunch of Hades veterans either watching or probably already know what the best trinket is, but I'm gonna say it right here and now, the best trinket in the game is the butterfly. It gives you a little boost in damage if you clear an encounter without taking damage, so by the time you reach the sticks, you'll have a good 30% boost backing you up. And you'll need that damage boost when you reach that point because killing these dweebs takes way too long and get poisoning sucks. Also, it is great for practice as well because with the butterfly, again, you need to clear out an encounter scot-free. So with it, you need to practice keeping your distance and play in a more tactical approach. Also, just be nice to Thanatos, okay? He cute. You can't give nectar to the bull. Trust me, I tried. You can't give nectar to Theseus either. Not that I tried, I just don't want to. When you reach Elysium, the 3rd floor in hell, keep in mind of these skull symbols on the front of the exit doors. If you're not careful and accidentally run into a door with a skull on it, you may be greeted with a one-on-one with Bara McGee, which is not a fun time if you're still trying to figure him out, especially since the final boss in Elysium is the bull again, except now he brought his mum with him. Now, this boss fight against Theseus and Asterius at the end of Elysium is considered one of the hardest boss fights in the game, which especially sucks that I just want to scrape this jerkface on concrete and take his husband. So because this is a pretty tough fight, but I somehow figured out their attack patterns, I decided to suffer so you don't have to. Why the hell not? This counts as a hot tip, right? So here we go. Here's a complete guide on how to completely annihilate the blonde jog and the furry bait that are totally platonic with each other for real, I swear, but anywho, here's here's how to kick their asses. So right away, you're immediately thrown in to think about how to dodge Tweedledum and Tweedle all at once, but hint hint, each of the two losers have two phases. The second phase is reached as soon as they reach half HP. The Minotaur is the more complicated character out of the two, since he either swings at you twice, welcome to the jam, or he'll just charge right at you, so you'll have to dash right out of the way hoping he'll hit a wall instead of you. His second phase, thankfully, isn't that different from his first. He does the same attacks, except now he fires like 3 purple things at the end of his swing combo after he slam dunks your ass, or when he crashes into a wall. He starts off as the most threatening one, but his second phase isn't that bad at all. Theseus, on the other hand, is an absent-minded prick. He only has 2 attacks on his first phase. Either he throws a spear at you if you're too far, or if you're too close to him, he'll spin you right round, baby, right round. He also takes his sweet diddly time doing these attacks, so it's the Minotaur that brings out most of the pain. However, if you reach half HP with Theseus, he finally goes apeshit and he summons a random Olympian to smite your ass. He has the same 2 attacks as before, but now you got a rando god to worry about. Zeus's Thunder, Demeter's Chill Vortex, and Dionysus' Hangover Pits. He can use the gods against you now. Theseus starts off as a weak little bitch, but in his second phase he calls his grandpa on speed dial, which will be a bit of a fight if both goobs are alive. So with that being said, deal with the bull first. He has a harder first phase, but once you get his attack patterns down and not die, you'll pretty much have his second phase down and you'll beat him with ease. Just keep in mind that you'll still have Theseus to worry about too. How you'll know he's about to spin attack is with this very faint white circle around him, which means he's about to do his speedy spin in the direction in front of him. So when you see said circle, get away from him and let him do his thing. But how you'll know when he's about to throw his spear is when this pink cursor pops up on you. When you see it turn super duper hot pink, dash out of the way ASAP or it's ouchie ouch. Kiss bud. Once the bull is down, now it's just you and the jock, but you can't attack in front of him because of his shield. Thankfully for you, he's a stupid McStupid and walks away from you after he does one of his attacks. Wait for him to do his little song and dance, and as he turns his back on you, then you should let him have what's coming to him. On his second phase, he has the same attacks, but now with a rando god on his side. So if you have any cast or weapon that can build up long distance relationships with the prick, use it and abuse it. And just like that, boom, he'll be dead in no time. Yeah, we kick booty! If you see an item in the Well of Charon that boosts your damage against armor near the sticks, take it. That armor is annoying and your attacks won't stagger them, so the sooner they break, the better. Don't spend too much money on one spot. You may never know what you'll find in a shop or in a well that you might very much need. Try to keep at least 200 coins by the end of the run. When you start to permanently upgrade yourself using Nyx's mirror, don't forget to switch out those abilities and pick out which one suits your fancy more. I recommend keeping Death Defiance on because
dying really hurts.
This one because you gain a little bit of health once you exit out of a door. Pretty much all the red ones are neat, but feel free to look into each one and decide which variant gives you the kicks. Don't make my mistake thinking all the Titan blood will unlock all of these abilities all at once and make your favorite weapon all super duper powerful. No. You can only choose one aspect for a weapon at a time. Pick an aspect for each weapon with a buff that you think will help you out, but watch out once you unlock their final aspects. They can be extremely powerful, but adds a major nerf on you that requires you to be more careful on your runs. Once you finally reach the surface for the first time, you'll have the option to use the Pact of Punishment, which not only makes the journey just a tad harder depending on the options you choose, like enemies hitting harder or health items regaining less HP, but they're also an opportunity to nab the boss items again if you raise your heat gauge. If you need some extra Titan blood or perhaps more diamonds, this is the way to go. But in case if you think you only got out of there by sheer luck, or maybe you just want to advance the story, please know you don't have to do this. This is only if you want the runs to have a bit more difficulty on them, or if you just want to hate yourself and turn everything on to see what happens. If you still feel like the game is a little difficult for you, or you just want a more pleasant and easier experience with the story, then God Mode has your back. This option right away starts you off with a 20% damage resistance, and it rises up a tad bit every time you die. There were times where I just had to turn on God Mode because I got so invested into the story and because I'm a busy man with stuff to do with a video schedule I need to fix. So I had no choice but to use it. I love me some hard games, but that doesn't mean I'm the best at them. And if you feel you need to turn it on for the extra help, then go ahead and turn on God Mode anytime with a push of a button. If any piss poor Redditor gets on your case calling you a little baby for using it, then They have a weird way of validating themselves. This is an actual mechanic offered by the devs because they know that the difficulty won't be for everyone, despite its lovable cast of characters and its story. If you feel the need to make the game just a little easier on you, or perhaps you want extra time to understand how the game works, or maybe study attack patterns without panicking instead, feel free to use it. It is there for a reason, and to me, that's excellent game design. And lastly, cry yourself to sleep because no matter what I say in this video, you're gonna die anyway. But really, dying isn't that bad. Chat with everyone, pet the dog, upgrade your crap, practice your crap. Dying is still a huge part of the game, so don't see dying as losing because there will always be something new waiting for you back at the House of Hades. So there you have it, a long abundant list on how to make Hades just a little easier on you. Keep these tips and tricks in mind as you dive headfirst into the Inferno because despite all these tips and tricks, the best teacher in the world is experience. So what do y'all think of this totally cool video? You like all these totally rad tips and tricks? Feel free to leave a comment and like this video if you want, or if you hate them, stab me in the mouth. Either way how you feel, be sure to subscribe if you like this crap, and if you want to check out all my other crap. Be sure to check out my social media, being Twitter and Instagram. Be sure to check out the JorGoGo Discord, and check out my TeePublic store for some cool merch. All the links will be down below. So have fun with Hades, y'all, and good night.